All right, guys, here we are inside of CrowdTrack by Gospel Producers, but you want to know, how would I actually incorporate this into a session? And there are a couple of ways we can do that. It is going to respond to our MIDI keyboard, so if I hit some notes on my MIDI keyboard, it will respond. Right, so that's cool, but I think the best way to use this is to use the drag and drop MIDI cue browser. We have all these different MIDI commands in here, and we can simply click on the command we want. So like, let's say here, I wanted the applause to start at bar 7. I could click on play crowd. I could go here to my drag and drop, right? So it tells us I got to go right over here. See my mouse change, I can click and drag that right here. Drops that MIDI control in. Let's say I wanted to fade out at bar 9. I can choose fade out. There we go. And then let's say right after that, I want it to just do some crowd claps. Let's have it do 16 bars of crowd claps. Let's click on that. Drop it right in here. There we go. Let's see what we got. We can stop it. We don't have to play it for the whole 16 bars, right? But nice, easy, simple. And you can see there with that fade out and then having like the claps come right in, you can do like some crossfade effects. There's some nice, interesting things you can do. Obviously, we could have multiple instances of this in the same session if we wanted to do some additional layering, but that's cool that that fade is there because we can have a nice crossfade situation. Let's play it one more time. All right, so that is really cool, right? Nice, simple, easy to use. Again, I think that this is the best way, and I think that this is the intended way, the way that they intend for us to use this plugin, right? We have all these MIDI controls. We can drag them and drop them right inside, and it's going to work, all right? Now, well, one thing about this is certain of these are only going to trigger certain sounds. So if I have a preset that doesn't have clapping in any of these 6 faders, and I choose something, one of the MIDI things for clapping, I'm not going to get that. A quick way to fix that would be, of course, to modify that sound or that layer to include one of these clap tracks, right? Or a couple of these clap tracks, and then that would work for you. All right, so that's really cool. So what you want to know is, how do I feel about this plugin? Now, you already know we don't do negative reviews on this channel. So if I'm reviewing a plugin, that means that I do like it to some extent. I see some redeemable qualities in it, or I think it's amazing, or, what have you. We just don't do negative reviews here. So you already know that I do like this plugin, and I do, right? Because again, it has a very specific use case. We're talking about live sounds here, but if you do need to have live sounds, here they are, right? So instead of having to comb through all of your live crowd samples, or I've got a ton of them on my sound hard drive, in order to have, instead of having to comb through all of those and then manually drag them into certain places and slide them around and all that, we have all this stuff built right into this one plugin, and we can drag and drop and use MIDI to trigger it instead of worrying about audio and having to deal with WAV files and things of that nature, right? So that is really, really cool, and it'll help keep the file size of your session down if that's something that you're concerned with. All right, really cool, simple, easy to use plugin. Again, it's innovative. I like innovation. I have not seen any plugins that specifically cater to that specific need, and I really like that Gospel Producers does that. They have specific plugins that are catering to specific needs within the gospel community and outside of it, and that is really cool. So go ahead and go to their website and grab that if you are able to do so while the introductory sale is still going on, and I think that you'll appreciate it when you do run into a session where you need to have live sounds. I think it's going to be useful for you. All right.